Shannon Merritt. Here at 901 Comics, we had a personal relationship with Stan through my co-owner, Jamie Wright, who worked with him for 5 years. And through that relationship, I got to meet him several times. So it's close to home for us, and we feel like everybody feels like they lost a family member, but we feel like we lost a close family member.
Yeah, I understand. Of course, Stan created some huge characters, but he had a huge personality himself.
Yeah, Jamie likes to tell stories about how funny he was. I didn't get to experience that because I didn't spend a huge amount of time with him. But Jamie was breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the hotel afterwards, hanging out with Stan, and he said he was probably one of the funniest people he's ever met, and that's something that people don't realize. Like, he had a large sense of humor, so.
Probably gained some of that from reading Shakespeare as a young man and that sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
As a comic fan, what does that do for your understanding and your appreciation of the comics, knowing the man behind the characters?
I've just always been in awe of what he was able to do, because a lot of people don't realize that when Marvel started cranking up with Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and the Avengers and even Captain America, which wasn't something he created, but he was writing all these titles. His editor and his chief was like, give me something else. And he was just banging it out and just was writing, across the board, 7, 8 titles, every month. And, that's just a lot of writing just for one person to do. And I've just always been in awe of that, and his ability to completely create something new and drive different stories in different ways, and also interconnect them, which was something that hadn't been really done in comic books before. He took a whole universe, and you're writing Spider-Man, and all of a sudden, the Fantastic Four show up in it, or vice versa. And people didn't do that very often, and he really kind of mastered that.
Yeah, you're talking about the different and new dynamic that he brought to comics. He delved deeper into the personalities and the doubts and fears of superheroes as well.
Exactly, and it wasn't just a uniform anymore. There was somebody behind that uniform or behind that mask, and their superhero lives affected their personal lives. One of my favorite characters he created was Daredevil, and who's Daredevil by night and a lawyer during the day, and everybody's familiar with him now because of the Netflix series. But he was a character that was created in the '60s, and Stan, basically somebody challenged him, create a character with an impairment, and so he came up, I want to make a blind superhero, which was kind of unheard of, and he made it work and created the narrative behind the mask of Daredevil about how Matt Murdock lived his life outside of it. And I thought it always appealed to me because that was my favorite character. And I just thought the creativity of that and the originality of that was just really neat. So
he brought lots of unique things to the world of comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shan. This is Rudy Williams with Local 24 News.